The Feast of Wintervale. Some time ago, it occurred to me that some things in the game are so simple we'd never really think about them, or at least I don't. That said, let's take a step back and stop thinking about cards for a moment, and instead think about the very battlefield we play them on. The Hearthstone boards. Hearthstone as a game itself, because of course Hearthstone is within Azeroth, a board game out for sale. You can even see people playing it or selling it. Look, here's a travelling salesman, Benjamin Broad, selling it. How meta is it? Wait, there was it. God damn it! Now, the boards of Hearthstone feature some interesting details, each one made to resemble cities or areas of Azeroth. In fact, so far there's already 10 whole boards inside this magical little box, and each one is chock full of references to parts of the lore and history. That's a lot, so I'll just do the ones based on cities for now. First, Stormwind. Situated in the Eastern Kingdoms by the western coast, Stormwind is the capital city of the Alliance and the last remaining bastion of human civilization, having survived the test of time, including attacks by orcs, giant dragons, undeads, and missing kings. Here, ruled by King Varian Rin and his son Prince Anduin Rin, humankind lives and dies surrounded by culture, from the still-standing old town to the magical mage quarter to the dwarven district and its smog and machines. In the top left of the board is a miniature portion of the giant Cathedral of Light, right in the middle of Stormwind, where those faithful in the Holy Light can travel from miles around to worship in peace and solidarity. The cathedral is built alongside most of the city by the stonemasons, led by Edwin Van Cleef of all people. It's a long story, but basically he's an architect first and a villainous rogue second. Moving to the right is an inn, one of several possible inns to be found in Stormwind, but the one I associate it with is the Pig and Whistle, found in Old Town, the only part of Stormwind not destroyed by the Orcish Horde in the First War. Yeah, the Orcs kinda won that war. Bottom left, there's one of the many clock towers seen throughout Stormwind. Simple enough. These towers double as barracks for the guards and soldiers of Stormwind. Finally, bottom right, you'll see a mighty griffin in a bed, ready and waiting to be taken for a ride. Griffins are typically used by dwarves and, by alliance, by humans for quick transport across great distances. A taxi service, basically. Most alliance settlements in the Eastern Kingdoms will have a few griffins and a handler for just such a purpose. Stormwind is a place of strength and change, and it is the seat of power for the alliance. Here, in the keep, King Rin sits on his throne, and here Onyxia ruled in his wake in disguise. I'll explain that another time, it's a fun story. Orgrimmar! Now, this one's not quite as old as Stormwind. Orgrimmar was first built some 15 years ago, maybe less, by the Horde under Warchief Thrall. In Eastern Kalimdor, a land called Durotar, named after Thrall's father Durotan of the Frostwolves, Thrall had built a mighty city to house his new horde of orcs, trolls, and tauren, a home in the savage land they had entered. He named it Orgrimmar, after the orcish hero Orgrim Doomhammer, original owner of the Doomhammer. Lots of history! Bottom right is one of the classic Orcish catapults, the siege weapons used primarily in the First, Second, and Third Wars by orcs, the years before they knew the secret to higher technology. The secret is goblins! Bottom left is an Orcish blacksmith, which are wonderful. Look at this. A wide open building with a chimney on top and a searing hot metal all over the floor. In these buildings, the armaments of an army are formed, and here the Horde gains its strength. Top left is a recognizable image for anyone that knows goblins. A massive goblin zeppelin, the device that put goblin engineers on the map. Powered by huge engines kept afloat by flammable gas, the zeppelin is the eyes and legs of the Horde. With these zeppelins, they acquired the thing the orcs never had, a presence in the air. Goblin technology maximized with the Orgrim's Hammer skyship in Northrend, a type of flying fortress created to combat the Lich King, and whose design has been reused numerous times by the Horde since, even against the Burning Legion. Finally, the Gates of Orgrimmar, and the part of the board that represents the new Horde. The true Horde, as Warchief Garrosh Hellscream called it. Under Hellscream's might, Orgrimmar was rebuilt with huge metal fortifications, massive elevators to make use of the cliffy areas above, a gigantic citadel for the Warchief to sit upon his throne. Garrosh wanted Orgrimmar to become a superpower in Kalimdor. He succeeded, but that's also a story for later. Finally, a quick look at Ironforge, the grand underground city of the Bronzebeard dwarves of the Alliance. In mountainous Dunmarrow, in the Eastern Kingdoms, stands Ironforge Mountain. Inside it, the stone city of dwarves. And inside that is the heart of discovery in the world. where dreams of adventure, fear of doom, knowledge of ancient temples and treasures and traps. The Hall of Explorers! The heart of the League of Explorers, featuring the museum filled with the various things the League has discovered in their time around the world. Within this museum, you may find the skeletal remains of long-dead dinosaurs such as pterodaxes, or the skull of the huge red dragon, Tyrannistras. Further along, one can see an incredibly ancient highborn astrolabe from the undersea ruins of the Nightel city Suramar. It would take too long to explain the highborn here, but their astrolabes were used over 12,000 years ago for astronomical readings to aid in magic and the understanding of stars. The bottom right of the museum board features an item not seen in Ironforge, an old sarcophagus. But it resembles the sort of thing seen in ancient trollish ruins. As a people, trolls have been known to mummify their dead and respectfully place them in tombs. This has been made more useful for necromancy too. Trolls are a bit weird with the dead. Finally, the calm and quiet office area. While there is no picture of Sir Finley in Ironforge, this is without a doubt an image based on the great Library of Ironforge, a collection of knowledge vast in size and impressive in scope. Here explorers, scholars and more will sit quietly and read and expand their minds, surrounded by the great minds such as Historian Karnik, High Explorer Magellan, or Doctor Professor Ironpants. It is in Ironforge that discoveries are made, and it is in Ironforge that the grand and ancient tradition of Winter's Veil is celebrated. It is here that dwarf children wait eagerly for Great Father Winter to bring them gifts, and where grown-ups quietly celebrate the end of the year. I intend to join them, and I invite you to do the same. To everyone, happy Feast of Winter Veil!